You don't cross someone like Reg and just walk away. In the Chi Season 7, Hannibal makes a move that changes everything. He doesn't just challenge the rules of the street, he challenges Reg himself. And in a city where loyalty means survival, this might be the dumbest move Hannibal's ever made. But here's the real question. Did he do it out of fear? Or ambition? Either way, it's about to get bloody. Let's rewind for a minute and break down what's really going on here. To understand why Hannibal turning on Reg is such a big deal, you've got to understand who these two men are and how they ended up on opposite sides. First up, Hannibal. He's a newer face in the power circle of the Chi, but don't let that fool you. He's been climbing the ranks quietly, moving smarter than most. Hannibal doesn't shoot first. He watches. He waits. He thinks 3 steps ahead. He plays the street game like it's chess, not checkers. That's why people started to take him seriously. He wasn't the loudest in the room, but he was the one people went to when they wanted results. Not noise results. But even a quiet man has a loud ambition. Hannibal didn't want to be second in command forever. And that's where Reg comes in. Now Reg, he's no stranger to the Chi fans. He's got history. He's got blood on his hands. And most importantly, he's got respect. People fear Reg not just because of what he's done but because of what he's capable of doing. Reg is a street general. He's been through wars, and he's survived them all. His name carries weight because he's the type of guy who doesn't forgive. He doesn't forget. You betray him once, you're done. So when Hannibal started gaining influence, Reg didn't feel threatened at first. In fact, he welcomed it. For a while, it even looked like they could build something together. They both had a similar mindset: control the chaos, don't be part of it. But every kingdom only has room for one king. And when power started shifting, that invisible line between partner and problem started to fade fast. What makes this dynamic so interesting is that Hannibal isn't reckless. He didn't just wake up one day and decide to flip the switch on Reg. He's calculated. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that makes his move even more dangerous. Because if you're bold enough to go after someone like Reg, you either have something powerful behind you, or you're walking straight into a trap, thinking it's a shortcut. And that's where the tension begins. Hannibal might be smart, but Reg is street smart. He's survived too long to not notice when someone's trying to move funny. Season 7 gives us small clues: looks exchanged, meetings that don't feel right, decisions being made behind closed doors. Reg isn't blind, he's watching, he's waiting. And Hannibal, he might have already made the first mistake. This isn't just a power shift, it's a collision course. Two men who both know how to play the game, now forced to choose between trust and territory, and if history tells us anything, only one of them is walking away clean. The streets don't just talk, they whisper. And lately, those whispers have been all about Hannibal. His moves, his silence. The way he's been moving in the shadows, not checking in with Reg like he used to. Something shifted. Quietly? Yes, but deeply. And in the Chi, that's how betrayal always starts, with the silence before the storm. At first, it didn't look like betrayal. It looked like business. Hannibal started handling side deals, managing his own people, and keeping his operations tight. Nothing sloppy, nothing obvious. But he stopped asking Reg for green lights, stopped showing up at certain sit-downs. Word on the street, Hannibal had started taking meetings with a rival crew. Not enemies exactly, but not friends either. That right there. That was the first red flag. Now here's where things get real. Reg isn't stupid. He may run the streets with muscle, but he rules with instinct, and he could feel something was off. Maybe it was the way Hannibal avoided eye contact. Or how he started sending his own guys to meetings Reg should have been leading. The loyalty was cracking, piece by piece, and then it happened. Hannibal made the move that crossed the line for good. It was supposed to be a low-key weapons run. Nothing major, just something Reg's crew had planned for weeks. Hannibal offered to help handle it. What he really did was reroute the shipment. That's right, he set it up so the drop never reached Reg. Instead, it went to a new set of players no one had seen in the South Side before. Out-of-town muscle, quiet and organized. Reg lost money. He lost weapons, but more importantly, he lost control. And Hannibal, he didn't say a word. Played it like the whole thing was just a mistake. But Reg doesn't believe in mistakes. Not in this game. Every move is a message. And Hannibal's message was loud and clear. I don't need you anymore. Asterisk, why would Hannibal do it? That's the million-dollar question. Some say he's tired of being under Reg's shadow. Others think he's trying to form a new alliance, maybe with someone more political, like Duda. Or maybe, just maybe, Hannibal is playing a deeper game. One where he cuts Reg out, piece by piece, without ever firing a bullet. A silent takeover, a bloodless coup, at least, for now. Asterisk, but there's a problem. In the Chi, nothing stays bloodless for long. The streets demand balance, and what Hannibal just did, that threw everything out of order. There's tension in the air now. You can feel it in every scene they share. Hannibal walks into a room, and no one knows whose side he's really on. Reg lights a cigar and doesn't say a word, but his eyes say everything. He knows, and once Reg knows, it's only a matter of time. Asterisk, what makes this betrayal hit harder is how close they were, not as bros, but as men who respected the grind. Hannibal didn't have to come up under Reg. He chose to. And Reg didn't have to trust Hannibal. He just saw something in him, a younger version of himself maybe. Someone who understood that the street isn't about flash, it's about survival. But all that respect, it's gone now. Burned. Asterisk, the Chi has always been about more than guns and money. It's about codes, lines you don't cross. And Hannibal crossed one. Quietly, strategically, but still, he crossed it. And now, every step he takes is one closer to a payback he may not be ready for. Asterisk, Hannibal thinks he's ahead. That's his first mistake. On the surface, it looks like he pulled it off Reg's lost product. His name is slipping, and Hannibal's starting to gain quiet power. But what Hannibal forgot is this. You don't just win in the Chi, every move has a cost. And turning on Reg, that's not just business, that's personal. And when Reg takes it personal, he doesn't come for your money. He comes for your soul. Asterisk, let's talk about the streets for a second. Respect isn't just earned here, it's guarded. Once you let someone take a piece of your name, it's like blood in the water. Everybody starts circling. Reg knows that better than anyone. That's why Hannibal's betrayal isn't just a challenge to Reg's power, it's a challenge to his survival. If Reg doesn't respond, he looks weak. If he responds too fast, he looks desperate. So what does Reg do? He waits. And while he's waiting, he's watching. Asterisk, that's what makes it dangerous. See, Reg isn't loud with revenge. He doesn't throw tantrums. He plots, he gathers, he sets traps. And Hannibal is walking straight into one. Reg has started making quiet moves in the background, pulling in old allies. Reconnecting with people who owe him favors, even reaching out to players who don't like him, but hate betrayal even more. Reg is building pressure. And when that pressure blows, it's not going to be clean. Asterisk, Hannibal's already starting to feel it. People who used to answer his calls are suddenly busy. Crews that used to have his back are now asking questions. Even his own inner circle is getting nervous. They've seen how Reg handles snake sand. They don't want to be in the blast zone. Hannibal might be calm on the outside, but you can tell he's starting to sweat. Every move he makes now has weight. Every silence around him feels like a setup. Asterisk, the wild thing is, Hannibal knows this is coming. You can see it in his eyes. That cold, steady focus he had before. It's cracking. He's double-checking everything. Watching corners. Questioning loyalty. That's the cost of the move he made. Reg didn't have to touch him, he already made him paranoid. That's psychological warfare. Reg, you don't even know you've lost the game until you're already checkmated. Asterisk, and then there's the street justice factor. This isn't politics. It's the South Side. And betrayal doesn't go unpunished. If Reg doesn't get Hannibal, someone else will, just to send a message. Other crews, old enemies, even Reg's loyal soldiers, someone's going to take that shot. Because leaving a traitor alive makes everybody look vulnerable, and Reg can't afford that. His name still carries weight. But not if Hannibal walks free after crossing him. Asterisk, let's not forget Reg's track record either. This isn't the first time someone tried to step on his name. The last guy who pulled a similar move, he disappeared. 1 minute he was throwing parties, running corners, and acting untouchable. The next ghost, no funeral, no body, just silence. And that silence said everything. Asterisk, so what does this mean for Hannibal? It means he's already bleeding, not literally but his power, his connections, his repits leaking. Slowly, quietly. Reg doesn't need to shoot him today. He just needs to let him rot. Let the paranoia eat him. Let the streets turn cold around him. That's the real punishment, not death. isolation, irrelevance, asterisk, but Reg is a man of balance. Eventually he'll come calling. Not to talk. Not to warn. Just to finish what Hannibal started. Asterisk. Now that the lines are drawn and the betrayal is out in the open, fans of the Chi are starting to ask the big question, what happens next? Does Hannibal have a plan to survive this? Is Reg about to explode? Or is someone else pulling strings we haven't even noticed yet? Let's break down the most talked about theories, and how they could shake up the rest of Season 7. Asterisk Theory 1. Hannibal's playing the long game and Reg is just the first move. Asterisk. Some fans believe Hannibal didn't just betray Reg out of emotion. This wasn't just ambition, it was strategy. He's not just trying to remove Reg, he's trying to replace him. That means everything we've seen so far: sabotaging the drop, shifting alliances, cutting off Reg's rich. It's all part of a larger plan to take over the entire operation. This theory says Hannibal's got more allies than we realize, maybe even someone inside Reg's own circle. If that's true, the scariest part isn't what Hannibal's already done, it's what he's about to do next. Asterisk. But here's the twist: if Hannibal is playing that deep of a game, he better move fast. Reg might be older, but he's not slow. Once Reg figures out who Hannibal's working with, it won't just be about revenge. It'll be about sending a message that no one takes Reg's crown. Not even someone who helped build the kingdom. Asterisk Theory 2. Reg knows everything, and he's just letting Hannibal dig his own grave. Asterisk This one. It's cold. It suggests Reg already knows every move Hannibal has made. He knows about the rerouted shipment. He knows who Hannibal met with. And he's not reacting, not yet, because he wants to hit back when it hurts most. This version of Reg isn't just angry, he's surgical, waiting until Hannibal is fully exposed, standing on top of a crumbling empire, thinking he's won. Then, in one move, Reg cuts the legs out from under him. Asterisk. And if this theory's true, then every calm scene with Reg isn't peace, it's pressure. The kind of pressure that explodes when the moment is. Asterisk. Here's where things get interesting. A growing number of fans think this beef between Hannibal and Reg is actually being fueled by someone else entirely: Duda. The theory goes like this. Duda sees Hannibal's potential, but he knows Hannibal can't rise while Reg is still standing, so he whispers in Hannibal's ear, gives him just enough power, and watches the war begin. That way, Duda doesn't have to dirty his hands. He just picks up the pieces once the blood dries. Asterisk. This theory is dangerous because it puts Hannibal in a tragic light, not as a villain, but as a pawn. A smart pawn, but still a pawn. And if he realizes that too late, Reg won't be the only one coming for him. Asterisk Theory 4. Someone's going to flip the script entirely. Asterisk. Last, but not least, there's one theory that flips everything on its head. What if Hannibal and Reg aren't enemies forever? What if they fake the beef to take down a bigger enemy, like Duda or a new rival crew from out of town? It sounds crazy, but the Chi has pulled wild twists before. If this is true, then everything we're seeing is theater, a smokescreen, a setup, and the real storm is coming from a whole different direction. Asterisk. Still, as of now, there's no sign of that. Hannibal's betrayal seems too real. Reg's silence too cold. And in the South Side, fake beef doesn't last long before it turns real anyway. Asterisk. So what's next? Someone's going to fall. That much is guaranteed. Whether it's Hannibal, Reg, or even someone we're not watching, yet the Chi doesn't let tension sit still for long. The pressure's building, the players are moving, and when the next shot goes off, it won't just be one man's war, it'll tear through every corner of the city. Asterisk. Whatever happens next, one thing's clear: turning on Reg was never going to be clean, and if Hannibal thought this game could be won without blood, he's already lost. Asterisk. Betrayal, power, revenge. In the Chi Season 7, it's no longer about who holds the most territory. It's about who survives the war that's already started in silence. Asterisk. Hannibal made his move, on whether it was out of hunger or desperation. It set off a chain reaction that can't be undone. Reg isn't just coming for payback. He's coming to restore order, to remind the city that loyalty is still law. And in this game, the ones who forget that don't get second chances. Now it's your move. What do you think Hannibal's endgame really is? Asterisk. Will Reg crush him before it's too late? Asterisk. Or will someone else rewrite the rules while these two burn each other down? Drop your theory in the comments below. And if you're riding with the Chi through every twist, every betrayal, and every unexpected moment, hit that like button and subscribe. Asterisk because when the next episode drops, you'll want to be ready. Asterisk trust, gone, loyalty, tested. Season 7 is just heating up, and in this city, the streets never sleep.